teaching in Northern Arizona University, a doctoral program there, and I attended the AMFT conference in San Francisco just after the earthquake. And one of the workshops, and as a habit of mine, I would always pick the best people to go see, and then I would watch their work, Chloe Madonnas, Jay Haley, people of this nature, and then I'd go in and implement it in the classroom. I just would, that's how I learned over time, and I never engaged in meeting the folks or I'd read their material. Well, I happened to watch Michael White that day, and the Reflecting Team. You were part of the Reflecting Team, and a number of other people that I didn't recognize at the time, but I've come to recognize over time. And I knew that I was watching something incredibly special. I just didn't know what it was. Had no clue. I just watched in marvel what there's something going on. There was probably 250 people in the audience, and I'm sitting in the middle somewhere, and I'm watching this terrific interview, and I walked away from that, and I go back to Northern Arizona University, and I'm doing supervision with doctoral students, and Ellen was one of the doctoral students. I didn't know what I was doing, but I decided that I'm going to, because as a habit, I'd always take something and implement it. So I started having these conversations with my students about stories, and I thought, well, I'll tell my story and I'll engage them in their story. And Ellen won't remember this, I don't think, but I remember she afterwards was talking to the other doctors. Did you know something different about Art? He's telling us these stories, and we have no idea. And I had no idea why I was telling him either. It took me another 5 years before I really, in earnest, decided. I left it there and I went back to Chico, and I decided in earnest I'm going to investigate this, because at that time I was doing brief therapy models, strategic methods, and but that was I didn't realize at the time that was going to be so profound, just that incident, and then 5 years later taking it up and really engaging it more on a personal. So that's kind of like I think an outsider witness, because I never really took the time to be in a community of people like I am right here with all of you. I mean, this is my first get-together where actually I'm around other people that are practicing, and I've always done it on my own in a little enclave of students, but it's so that was my story, is like coming through it and really knowing something special was happening, and then shaking up my students a bit, and them thinking I was a bit on the crazy side now that I'd come back from this conference. But it did come to me later, and I started understanding it better. So.